Oneil Cruz's season has been a roller coaster. Rafael Flores might be the next piece in the catching puzzle, and the free agent board, let's just say it's a mix of bargains, bounce backs, and big ticket dreams. Let's dive in next on Locked On Pirates.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Pirates, your daily dose of black and gold baseball. I'm Gary Morgan. Today we're breaking down Oneil Cruz's 2025 journey. I'm going to do it month by month, answering listener questions about Rafael Flores and the team's 2026 outlook, and scanning the free agent board for potential upgrades at third base and the outfield. Before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Oneil Cruz. I mean, it has been a strange season. I just want to go through his season totals, and then I want to break it down by month. I think what you're going to see is just how streaky he's been. All right, his total overall average, everything right now doesn't look great. 207 average, on base percentage of 304. He's slugging 398. He has 18 home runs, 51 runs batted in, and 34 stolen bases. 145 strikeouts so far. His monthly breakdown: in April, he hit 271, May 344, June 220, July 234, and August 122. August has been a disaster upon disasters. May was about like the greatest you could possibly expect from Oneil Cruz. You've gotten to see both in this season. May, unbelievable player. How the hell could you not even consider extending him? Oh my God, get him extended. Do something. August, trade him, cut him, demote him. He sucks. Right? Well, you're looking for full season performances from guys. Streaky players are tough to figure. They really are. You get these cumulative numbers and you look at them and you think to yourself, well, yeah, I need those numbers. Like 18 home runs. This team doesn't even have 100 yet, people. So with any kind of a conscience, how can I just willingly tell you that they don't need this 18 home runs? You shouldn't eat all of the warts that this guy comes with. You don't need those 18 home runs that bad. This team desperately needs those 18 home runs. You understand, like almost no matter what they come with, almost no matter what they're paired with, this team has to have them. You're to the point where this is a team that should be considering signing guys that do nothing but hit home runs. Like they fail at everything else, but they manage to hit some home runs. It's just an element that we know from being fans, watching this team and watching the game. You got to have some power. You're not always going to string together 3-4 hits. You're not always going to find grass, no matter how good you're swinging it. You got to have those guys that can put it over the fence every once in a while. And if it's 3 strikeouts and a home run, you're going to take that home run. That's the worst case scenario of what Oneil Cruz is. This inconsistency. This is an example of a player that you would deal with knowing that you have to have something that he does. You have to have one of his skill sets. You got to have it. That said, Oneil Cruz needs to cut down on strikeouts. He needs to improve his pitch recognition. He has elite speed and raw power. He should be the everyday outfielder. I don't think he has to be a center fielder, but he has to be an outfielder at this point. 20 plus home runs, 30 plus stolen base upside. If he can keep his on base percentage up around even 320, you're talking about a player that you don't have nearly as much consternation about. I could go off and tell you like ways I think he'll improve, or why I think he should improve, or why I think he will. Or I could even go off and paint the picture of this is the best he ever gets, and there's nothing you can do about it. And either way, I'd be telling you this guy's coming back next year and starting, and should. Even if this is the top of the mountain for Oneil Cruz, for this team, it's a valuable player. They cannot afford to lose that kind of power. They can't afford to lose that kind of production. I think what he's putting on paper is he's showing you a guy that at some point you're going to replace. You're not thinking any longer from a season like this, just what he's done and how he's finished this year. You're probably not thinking about extending him anymore. Maybe you should be. I think if you were to try to trade him right now, I would tell you you're trying to sell him at his lowest point. So maybe if I really believe that this is as bad as it can get, if I think this is as poor a season as he can possibly put together, and I'm right there, folks. I think this is about as bad a season as he can put together. If that's the case, shouldn't I be kind of considering trying to buy low and see if I could possibly extend him somehow? I'm thinking about the reality of how long it's going to be before I, a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, feel that I don't need what Oneil Cruz does because we're so blessed with it. I'm just trying to think of what would have to happen for me to get to the point where I don't think they need this anymore. You have to start with Termar Johnson gets here, and he's not just trying. He's full-blown good hitter, hitting home runs, getting on base, running around, stealing. Connor Griffin gets here. He's every bit the superstar we hoped he would be. He's running all over the place, replacing those stolen base numbers, getting on base, being able to play center field, tons of pop. You know, Brian Reynolds has bounced back. He's acting like himself. Everything's going good. We'll talk about Flores in segment 2. Maybe he's like just pile driving home runs. Maybe Henry Davis figures it out and he's hitting 20. Maybe the rest of his numbers stink and he's hitting home runs. You start getting that kind of production from other places, we can have the conversation about moving on from Oneil Cruz. We can. But right now, you're not going to get any value in a trade for him, not the kind of value you want. And this team that, again, has not even hit 100 home runs yet, the only team in Major League Baseball that can boast that, I can't see a logical way where they can turn to themselves and say, yeah, this is just not working for us. These 18 to 20 home runs, yeah, I don't think we need them. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can say that or do that. I think fans can. Fans can be tired of seeing things. I get it. There's certain aspects of Oneil Cruz that I don't like. But one thing I love is the skill set. And I know how expensive that skill set is. I know how hard it is to go try to buy it on the free agent market. In segment 3 today, we're going to be talking about some of those free agents. And when I talk about them, a lot of their numbers aren't going to impress you a heck of a lot more than Oneil Cruz. So weigh what he is versus what they could or will get on the free agent market or even via trade. Think about the trade angle for a minute. Who's giving up an Oneil Cruz type player? If you traded for somebody that has hit 20, 18, 22 home runs in a season, Do you feel like that would take something pretty big? Probably. Probably. As long as they had just recently done it and looked good. Oneil Cruz doesn't. Trading him right now would be foolish. Foolish. His first year of arbitration is going to be very low through his own doing. Take advantage of that. You're going to get a guy that's probably going to pop 20 home runs, bare minimum. He's going to probably pop 20 home runs next year, right? At least. And you're going to pay him like $3-4 million. There's not a rational manager in the game that would move on from that player. Sorry. Fans don't have to be rational, but I like to think people that are covering the team do need to be. You're not going to sway me on this one. Oneil Cruz has got to come back. Yeah, he's got to be better. But even if he isn't, if this is the best he is, you still got to have it until you can replace it. And they're nowhere near replacing it. So buck up. I think you're going to see a lot more Oneil Cruz. When we come back, let's do a couple AMAs. Hey, Locked On Pirates fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with a free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON. Get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or even an e-gift card for Amazon or other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. We have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. All right, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Make sure you smash that subscribe and like for me, and we're going to do another AMA session here in the middle of the show. I love the questions. They're coming in. They're really good stuff. Trevor asks, how does Rafael Flores look in AAA? Could he pair with Davis next year? Really, he looks great so far. Sitting 277, on base percentage of 354, slugging 821. He's got 19 home runs, 75 RBI, and only 448 at bats. You know, solid bat first catcher. Some people are saying that the defense is improving. I haven't seen that yet. And I've gotten conflicting reports on it too. A couple guys have told me that it looks a lot better than they were sold when he was traded. A couple of people have told me that it is about as bad as they were sold when he was traded. We'll have to wait and see. Really what you're asking is, can he replace Joey Bart? And I think that question is started best by saying, do I think Joey Bart needs to be removed? Yeah, I do. 2 home runs and the kind of defense that he provides, not enough. I don't think that Rafael Flores is going to threaten Henry Davis for the starting catching job, if only because if catching defense is important as they have made it out to be throughout the years, they're going to want to see a little bit more from him first. And even in the minors, they're already using him at first base, DH, and catcher. So he's done all three. And that's with Indianapolis, not just his Yankees history, where they very much so used him in all three of those roles. I've heard that he can handle first base pretty well. That could be an easy platoon for Horwitz. That's not a bad thing to have around. It kind of would go back to the principle of what they really wanted to do with Endy Rodriguez before the injury to Horwitz. They wanted to use him as a platoon and a potential backup catcher / starting catcher. And obviously injury got in the way there, and Henry has taken over the starting gig. So feels to me like they could be setting up for that same role. Flores isn't a guy that I think is just going to come up here and get handed a ton of opportunity, but it's going to be very hard for this team to deny that he's one of their 13 better hitters next year. I think he's probably one of the most likely candidates there is to start next year out of spring as a rookie. I think they're just going to need his bat. And I think they'll want to use him in a lot of different places too. I do. I think that first base role, that's probably going to be pretty key. And I think from all reports, he can handle it over there a little bit. And catching backup, I think that would be a perfectly appropriate way to use him and keep his bat in the lineup. You give him some DH time too. It makes total sense that he would be a guy that would make it. You'd be able to use him a lot. You also have a throttle built in where you can use Kutch more if you don't want to expose his bat more. You can let Horwitz face some left-handers and see how that looks. I think that's something that we're going to want to see next year a little bit, even though he's at 27, relatively proven out on that. Catcher, he could pass Henry throughout the year, especially if the defense really does improve. But it would really have to improve. I mean, like, it would really have to improve. And even at that, I don't know that you're going to pry Henry away from Skeens or some of the other guys that openly like throwing to him. I think a lot of the benefit of Henry is that defensive capability and what he can do with this pitching staff. So if they ask me, they owe it to the pitching staff to focus on Henry and let Flores kind of come along as he comes along. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to hold back a bat just for that defense, okay? If that's what it comes down to, we'll have some of those awkward conversations like we've been back in the early 90s where it was like, okay, yeah, LaVallier's your best catcher, but I want Don Slott's bat. You know what I mean? So I think that's maybe where we'll get to. That said, we shouldn't forget that Henry's a lot of this same profile. He profiled exactly the same way. He was a bat-first catcher that couldn't catch all that well. Look at what he's become. A catcher that can catch like great. But he struggles when it comes to the other side of the ball. So far at the major league level, it's very hard to tell you which one of these ones Flores is going to be. But I like what I see so far. I really do. Jack asks, are we better than any of the 4 teams above us? What do we need to add to get to 500? Why draft high school players? This is Jack's favorite question. Why draft high school players? Because they have higher ceilings than the other guys that were available. It's hard for me to believe that you won't stop asking this question, Jack. You have Connor Griffin staring you right in the face. That's why they draft high school players. He's the best prospect in the country. That's why. When you're drafting, you're trying to draft the most talented player. This isn't the NFL. It's not the NBA. Guys don't come here right away. That's not the way the MLB draft works. Again, this is you, Jack. You're a person that tells me you were a scout. I find it difficult to believe when you ask questions like this. I'm sorry, brother. Are we better than any of the 4 teams above us? I think they're legitimately better than the Cardinals. I do. And I know the record says opposite. But I look at the Cardinals roster, I'd rather be in the Pirates position. I really would. The Pirates position is much better as far as the pitching aspect of everything goes. And I think the things they need to add are much less plentiful than the Cardinals. So I think I like where we're at better than them. I don't think we'll finish above them because the Cardinals are a winning organization that knows how to win with less. But I think paper to paper, you're just comparing these two rosters. I think they're better than the Cardinals. I do. I think they're comparable with the Reds. Reds pitch really well, don't hit all that well. I think they're right there with the Pirates. Right there. Really. If we go head to head, I think it's a very even match. Cubs, they're better now, but I think they're going to lose Kyle Tucker. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do. Maybe the prospects come through for them. Maybe that's what they do. I don't think you can expect Boyd to give you another season like he has this year. It's insane what he did already. But they've got some pieces there. I don't know what's going to happen. Milwaukee's always good. Do I think that they're close to a 500 team? Yes. Under Don Kelly, they've already been a 500 team. Better, actually. So I think for real, they could absolutely be 500 if they're well coached. And I don't even think they'd have to add a whole lot. Just better. You can't have guys like Tommy Pham not doing anything for the first 2 months of the season. You can't have guys like Oneil Cruz not doing anything for the last 2 months of the season. You know, if they want to be a 500 team, they need all their horses running the same race the entire time. The Brewers, Cubs, Reds, and Cardinals are all better than the Pirates right now. The statistics tell you that. The standings tell you that. But just if I was playing them head to head, I like their chances against the Reds and Cardinals quite a bit. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion they're in last place next year. That's all I'm saying. But as far as like the high school drafting, Jack, I implore you, let it go, brother. Just let it go. You're not thinking of this right. You're not. And I've tried to explain it to you several times now. It's not the draft you think it is. I just can't even imagine how mad I'd be if they had drafted a college player and I'm watching Connor Griffin just destroy it someplace. No. It's just not the way it's done. And if it's about them missing on a draft pick or two, that's going to happen. That's just going to happen. And you can go back and sour grapes that crap all you like. That's just not my game. I don't care about that. I have no desire to go back and tell 19 teams they were stupid for passing on Trout. Does nothing for me. It's boring. Okay? One more segment here. The free agent board. I know you all can't wait for it. I finally decided to take a look at these two positions the Pirates absolutely have to fill next year. And I don't like what I see. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization for your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. It helps organize, especially streaming apps. There are so many of them, and they all have different times of the month where the money comes out, and they'll increase the prices on you without notifying you necessarily, or if they do, it's in an email you ignored. Monarch really helps with all this stuff. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Hey, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Let's do free agent insanity. Who's ready to look at the board and talk about what's really available? Because we keep hearing what the Pirates need to do, and boy, they need to spend money, spend money. Well, I'm looking, I'm trying to spend the money. And I'm trying to eliminate the things that I know are crazy off the surface. Okay. So I'm leaving the big star names in there for you, just to kind of show you exactly what there really is. Keep in mind, this team needs power desperately. That's what they should be trying to acquire. You got Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's 30 years old. You know what he's done this year. 1 home run, 270 average. A lot of you probably liked having him around as a player. A lot of you would probably tell me you'd prefer to have him as a utility player. He's probably going to get somewhere in the range of, I don't know, 5 to 7 million next year. I'd imagine somebody will make him a multi-year deal offer. I don't know. If you want him back, I've heard he wants to come back. And if that's the case, I'm sure they can get something done. But I'm with you if you're one of those people that would prefer him to be used as a utility guy. My problem with it is I don't trust them to use him as a utility guy. I feel like they would plop him as the third base starter and call it quits. And at least for half the season, that's the game we'd be playing. So I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is a guy I'd prefer that they move on from, but I could see it. Eugenio Suarez gets brought up a lot. Now, he's 34 years old. He has a 237 average this year, which I'm sure a lot of you would still complain about, an 858 OPS and 42 home runs. He's probably going to get somewhere between 15 and 20 million next year. I doubt you're going to get him on a 1-year contract. You're probably going to get him on a 2 or 3-year contract. And the thing you have to accept with Eugenio Suarez is that 42 home run performance. Well, he does that once in a while, but a lot of the time he doesn't. So is he guarantee you're going to get more power? Yes. He will hit more home runs than any third baseman this team has had. Jeez. You could go back quite some time before you hit one. Okay. So it'd be an upgrade. You'd get more power. The average isn't going to come with it. Never has, never will. He's going to strike out a ton. Always has, always will. He's also just not going to pile up the home run numbers like you hope. And a right-handed batter in PNC Park, while he has plenty of power to overcome those park dimensions, he's just going to get no cheapies. And he's not going to get opposite field home runs. That's not his game either. So you're looking at a guy that I think is probably going to max out around 25 home runs. He's probably going to have the same average he did this year. Maybe that's okay. It's a lot of money, hard to commit to, inconsistent performance. And then as far as I see it, you got a bounce back candidate. And it'll be a scary bounce back. But the power is there. Yoan Moncada, 30 years old, playing for LA this year, 229 average, 778 OPS. Hasn't played a lot, but he has 11 home runs in a very limited time. Honestly, I think he could be had for 3 to 4 million. That's a good shot at power. Well, I question his ability to play a really good third base, but again, you're kind of going for power here. You're shooting for power. You're not shooting for defense. We've got defense. They can do that today if they want to. I think that's probably the best third base options that are out there. And if you're underwhelmed, you should be. Outfield options. You're going to laugh at some of these, but Austin Slater, 32 years old, 223 average, 684 OPS, 5 home runs. I think he'd be between 3 and 5 million. He'd be a really, really nice fourth outfielder that's got some competent MLB time under his belt. He can handle stretches of starting if he has to. That's a guy I'd be interested in at least. Tommy Pham is 37 now, will be 38. 264 average, 721 OPS, 7 home runs. He's probably going to want somewhere in the $6 to $7 million range next year. I don't know that he'll get it, but I figure he'll ask for it. Lane Thomas is still out there. Boy, the average is awful. 30 home runs, 160 average, 518 OPS, 4 home runs. I bet he gets 3 to 4 million, but I guarantee he gets some attention. He's young enough that I think a lot of people would hope he's going to bounce back from this pathetic season that he's just had. I'm going to give you Kyle Schwarber and Kyle Tucker, even though I'm going to straight up tell you it ain't going to happen. Kyle Schwarber's going to want 30 to 35 million. I can't imagine he's going to escape Philadelphia. 45 home runs and a 927 OPS. Yay, strikes out. Nobody cares. Kyle Tucker, 28 years old. He figures to be the top offensive free agent, period. 35 to 40 million a year is what I'm seeing projected for him. I don't think I need to tell you why that's not really going to be a consideration here. And he's having a really down year. So he's going to get paid on his past performance, not what he did this year. The last guy I'm going to give you, I think, is probably the best fit and the most possible. Trent Grisham. He's 28 years old, 248 average, 824 OPS, 26 home runs. Yes, he has the short porch in New York. We've got a short porch too that he should be able to take advantage of. 12 to 14 million is what I think it would take to get him. And yeah, you'd have to go multi-year too with him. He's 28 years old. If you can get Trent Grisham, I think, boy, that fills a hole. It gives you center field capability too, so you can stop pretending you have to keep Jack Sawinski around just because of that capability. He's easily better than Canario. Trent Grisham's been a starter on a playoff team for years now. That's a guy that I think you could plop out there in center field. It gives you the ability to maybe move Cruz to right field, which I think would play well with his arm and take a little bit of the responsibility off of him out there. It wouldn't be quite as visible, the issues that he has. If you guys really want Pham back, I think it can happen. But I just don't think that I believe he'll come back and do what he's been doing the whole season. He has this eye problem every year. Grisham is my main target. I would go after Trent Grisham hard. I think that would really, really fill a role. Gives you a lot of power, a lot of good defense. You can lead him off if you want to. That works. I think that's a great pickup if you can get him. And I don't hear a lot of buzz. I don't hear a lot of people talking about him like he's one of the top free agents on the board. Listen, Cruz needs to find consistency. Flores might be the next catching piece. And the free agent market offers some intriguing fits. The road to 500 in 2026 is steep, but not impossible. Thanks for listening to Locked On Pirates. Monday, you can expect we'll be talking about Peyton Toll versus Paul Skeens that happens tonight. Make sure you watch that game. I'm Gary Morgan. See you next time. Let's go Bucks.